Hi guys, this is Retta. Okay, the lighting's okay. I'm doing this from my car. A relational life coach. And on Sunday I talked about for a little bit why God made dirt and dirt is good. So tonight I wanted to go in just a little bit deeper about me and what my dirt was, and my major struggle. And I don't know if you guys can see me or not. My lights just went off in my car, and I didn't want to have it running. But hi guys, come on in. Thank you for coming in. Just wanted to be a little transparent tonight in regards to what I've gone through in my life. Thank you for joining Pastor 510. Again, my name is Retta. I am now a relational coach, an encourager. I'm still working on all of the titles and all of those things. Just trying to be obedient right now as to what God would have me to do. But as I was saying, just wanting to be a little bit more transparent about things that I've gone through. I spoke I think my first scope was 1 or 2 weeks ago. I spoke about being molested by my uncles, also going through domestic violence, which took me through some doors that no young child should have gone through, which opened me up to so many things that were not of God, but it shaped me and molded me into the person I am today. And it's helping me to assist those that have gone through what I've gone through. I am actually just put my website up. I had someone to push me because I was very fearful. But now I just want to be obedient to God and do what He's called me to do, because I no longer want blood on my hands. And I want those young women and those men, also just in general, those that have gone through molestation, those that have gone through rape, those that have gone through any type of abuse, whether it's been rejection, whether it's been abandonment, whether it's been there are so many things that are attached to being abused. And what I want to share tonight is some of the things that I went through. And I'll just go back a little with me being molested by my uncles, the same ones. Hi, Tessa. How are you, doll? Molested by some of my uncles, the same ones that molested my mother, which I found out after she committed suicide. That led me into prostitution. It led me into fornication. It led me into so much lust, you would not believe it, because those doors were opened up. It led me into so many things that you would never think a young woman would do. When I share my story with people now, you can see them frown, because not you're Miss Goody Two Shoes. No, sweetie, I'm not. I'm just as filthy and dirty as the next person. But to God be the glory. He molded me. He changed me. He put me through it for a reason, and it's to help others. I was in relationships with people I had no business being in relationships with. And it wasn't just men. Let's be honest. I said this is a transparency scope, and I'm going to be as real and as raw as I can possibly be. I was with husbands and wives, married, unmarried. I was with 2 men. I've been with women, I've been in so many beds that I had no business being in, because being molested opened up this door of torment, of lust, of torture, just so many different things that no one should ever be exposed to. And even in dealing with those things, as I said, it took me later down the line to prostitution. Did I need the money? Absolutely not. But because my spirit was open and my flesh wanted it, my flesh hungered for it, I gave my flesh what it wanted. Because in being molested or raped at such an early age, you think that's what love is, because supposedly, hey, these are people that are supposed to love you. So this is what love looks like. This is what love feels like. I'm all for it. Man, that was not even close to what love was and is. But that's what love was to me. So I did those things. There were times I just laid. If you guys ever saw The Color Purple, when Celie was just there, she was like, I just let him lay on top of me and do his business. There are so many times that's how I felt. And I just did it because that was my perception of love. I was abandoned. I won't say I was abandoned. My parents took me to South Carolina when I was 3 months old to live with my aunt. And it was because my mother worked 2 full-time jobs. My father was a street hustler, also known as a drug dealer. So he was in and out of jail. His father passed away when he was 2 years old. So he didn't know how to raise kids. He didn't know how to love us. He was never emotionally attached to us. So when I say it's so important, ladies, to know, and gentlemen, to know who you are laying with, it is so important, because those people are a part of your child's future. I had no idea. With my father being in the house, he really wasn't there until I got older and started having a better understanding of what was taking place. But we need our fathers in our homes. If it's not our fathers, we need a strong male figure. Period. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. Whether it's your uncle, whether it's your grandfather, your cousin, a strong male figure. Period. Whether it's even your pastor. It's so necessary and it's so needed, because they shape and mold you into who you're going to become later on down the line. And it got to the point where I wanted to model so bad. That has always been a dream and a passion of mine. I wanted to model. And I started out meeting photographers, and guess what? They started asking, well, would you do nudes? Would you show me your stuff? At first, I was shy. And then it got to the point and I'm like, here it is. Here's all of it. Then it got to the point where I'm having sex with them. Not getting anything out of it because I'm not being pleasured, but because there was no self-love. There was no self-worth. I didn't care about myself. I was filthy. I was dirty. I was nasty. I remember there were times when I would go home and try to wash and scrub the filth and the dirt that I felt away, and it would not come off, because guess what? It wasn't on the outside. It was on the inside. I had so many soul ties. Because that's what you get when you lay with any and everybody. You get soul ties. You get attached to that person's spirit. And that's something you can't wash away. You can't scrub away. You have to pray it away. You have to be delivered from it. That's the only way. And to ask God to remove it. But it was just, like I said, I've done so much. And then that led to prostitution. It led to me stripping, for money that I didn't need. And it wasn't so much as a club, but it was a private party, doing private parties. And the crazy thing, guys, my cousin was my manager. She was the one that got me into doing it. And I didn't fuss because I was so ashamed. I was so embarrassed. I thought she loved me, and that wasn't the case. But in doing these things, that's where the guilt, that's where the shame came in. That's where the low self-esteem really began. And I didn't know how to get rid of it. I didn't know what to do with it. But now today I can say I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. I know my worth. I know how beautiful I am. I know how intelligent I am. And I know how awesome God made me to be. And what I want to do is help everyone else who dealt with the things that I've dealt with. I want to help you get to the point where you know how awesome and amazing you are. You know how wonderfully and fearfully made you are, and that you can do anything you set your mind to. So with me being so transparent, I don't know what else to say to you guys, but I've laid it out there on the table. There's no more shame. There's no more guilt, because guess what? If there was, I wouldn't be able to talk about it so openly and so freely. I don't care who talks about me. I don't care what you say about me, because I know who I am and I know whose I am. So now that you have a little bit more background and why I've been talking about dirt this week, know that what you've gone through was for a purpose. It wasn't for you. You had to learn lessons from it. Don't get me wrong. But those lessons that we all learn, they're for others. They're to help others heal. They're to help others get delivered from what they've gone through. It's to help others know that it was not their fault. It's to help others deal with every insecurity, every fear, everything that they have dealt with. And it doesn't even have to be that they've been molested, that they've been raped. It can be abandonment, as I said earlier. It can be rejection, as I said earlier. So I'm hoping that you all will share what I've spoken with you, because there are so many of us that are still in hiding, because we're still embarrassed. We're still ashamed. We don't want anybody to know how filthy and nasty we were, or we still are. But guess what? The more you share, the more they come out of hiding. And the more people are healed. The more people are delivered. The more people begin to look at themselves and know their value and their worth, and know what they're worth. So share, guys, whatever it is you've gone through, no matter how bad you think it is, guess what? There's someone that went through the same thing, and they're thinking they're all by themselves, and they're not. So tonight, I thank you for taking the time to listen. Excuse me. And I encourage you to talk to people, to share with them what you've gone through, because you don't know who you're helping. You never know who you're helping. So guys, I thank you. My website will be up on Friday, because I was challenged by someone to get it done, and I actually did it in 2 days. So I'm excited. And that's all for right now. I'm thinking about doing a scope at least once, maybe once a week. But I'm not sure. But I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this. I'm hoping you guys got something from this. To my replay viewers, thank you for taking the time to watch this scope. God's evening, and may you have a blessed and abundant and peaceful rest. God's evening, guys. Bye.